Good evening. As the ninth dean in the storied and rich tradition of the UIC College of Education, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our fall 2017 commencement. Please take a moment to turn off or mute all cell phones. On behalf of the College of Education, our deans, faculty, staff, and students, we are honored that you have joined us for this significant occasion. Now please stand for the national anthem sung by Morgan Pirtle.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I now have the distinct honor of introducing Michael Emeritus, Chancellor of the University of Illinois at Chicago. Michael Emeritus became the 9th Chancellor of the University of Illinois at Chicago on March 16, 2015. His priorities for the university include a strengthened focus on our student experience, a stronger engagement with Chicago's business community and nonprofit organizations, greater efforts to showcase UIC's research portfolio, and the development of a new, more entrepreneurial operating model for the university. These priorities are now part of UIC's strategic plan. Chancellor Emeritus received his diploma in chemical engineering from the Aristotle University in Thessaloniki and his PhD in chemical engineering from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He earned the National Science Foundation Award for Early Career Scientists and Engineers and was also elected a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Please welcome Chancellor Michael Emeritus.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the University of Illinois at Chicago Spring Commencement Ceremonies. And I'm using the plural here because we have 14 ceremonies within 72 hours, but the College of Education is always special. And I want to tell all of our guests that we have a great class of 2017 from the College of Education to present to you. However, watching so far what has happened in the first few minutes, I would doubt that this is the case. You see, I expected that the family and the friends of our graduates would clap more loudly, would cheer more loudly, and would shout more loudly. Wait. This is a good yet unorganized attempt, so let's try to organize it, because I want you to demonstrate your intense emotions. So, unless you think that these guys are so-and-so, please prove me wrong as I say, congratulations, class of 2017. What do you think, guys? Slightly better, right? They're improving. That's good. I would like to thank the families, mothers, fathers, siblings, grandparents, spouses, children, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, and friends, all of you who are here today. I want to thank you for being here to celebrate together with our students, and I want to thank you for the support that you have shown to our students throughout their journey at the University of Illinois in Chicago. And of course, I want to thank your professors. I want to thank your mentors, your advisors, the staff of the College of Education and the staff of UIC, the ones who pushed you when it seemed you couldn't take even one more step and help you stand up and face the challenges. Let's thank them all together. Most of them are sitting behind me. Well, this is it. You made it. You made it together with your classmates and friends, together with your teammates, the people who supported each other. You worked together. You shared projects and notes, and the faculty have heard me every year saying the same thing. Hopefully you didn't share notes during exams. And you kept each other awake during all-night studies, and sometimes maybe you kept each other awake in the classroom. You are here today. And I hope you have plans for a great party tonight. You can take the evening off, but please remember that the rest of your life starts at 7 a.m. sharp tomorrow morning. And I mean it when I say tomorrow morning. Because as I look at all of you today, besides the big smiles, I see the millennial generation grown up and ready to take the world in new directions. And my hope is that this will start tomorrow morning, because we need it. By the way, I know depending on how we count that we may have some Generation Y representatives, especially the ones with advanced degree, and we may have some post-millennials. So how about if we call all of you together? If we call you the Internet generation? Since you were born and grew up with the Internet and its technology side effects, playing a significant role in nearly every aspect of your lives. You are the most technologically driven generation in history, and you are connected in ways impossible to have been imagined even a generation ago. Consider these facts, not alternative facts, facts. You have the highest average number of Facebook friends. I have 3, and all of them are members of my family, by the way. 60% of you are regularly posting selfies. I think there may be 20 or 30 people of my age that do this across the world, and we're still looking for them. You send an average of 50 texts a day. I mean, really? 50 texts? What do you say? And by the way, I'm not even going to go to Twitter. Right? In fact, I wish some older people would stop tweeting, especially in the middle of the night. But joking aside, you adjust readily to new programs, systems, and devices, and you perform computer-based tasks more quickly than anyone over 40 is capable of doing. And although some may believe that multitasking is not the most effective way to work, you are proving us wrong. And your comfort with social media means that you are very good at promoting your skills and making both personal and professional connections using technology to overcome traditional barriers. However, my hope in you is not placed on your technological skills alone. More importantly, I really believe that you are the most optimistic generation that we have seen in the last decades. You see a world of possibilities, and you are not stuck on labels. In fact, 50% of millennials in this country consider themselves politically unaffiliated, not because they are apolitical, but because they are open-minded to a wider range of ideas. You have a healthy skepticism, and you are not afraid to ask questions. And where the baby boomers were famous for saying, "Don't trust anyone over 30, your skepticism is not rooted in age. It is rooted in knowledge. By the way, 20% of your generation have at least one immigrant in their immediate household. And this is not Chicago. Multiply this several times to figure out what the number is at Chicago. And as the most ethnically diverse generation, millennials are much more accepting of differences. And your inclusion of members of other religions, races, genders, or sexual orientation groups means that you support now, and you will continue to support in the future, institutions and laws that promote social and economic equality. So, when I add all of this together, I see in front of me the most diverse generation in our history, the most technologically connected generation in our history, and the most passionate generation about the values of equality and justice. And here is your challenge. The enlightened and inclusive views that define your sense of right and wrong will only progress if you make your voices heard and your actions felt. Your generation has proven that you can rally behind important causes, and I hope that civic engagement will become your hallmark. Civic engagement, by the way, does not start and end at the polling stations every 2 or 4 years. Civic engagement means working to make a difference in the life of our communities. It means developing the combination of knowledge, skills, values, and motivation to make that difference a reality. Civic engagement means promoting the quality of life through both political and non-political processes. It means building, revitalizing, investing communities. It means listening to all voices and frequently speaking for those who may have been silenced. And I'm confident that armed with your university education and your own values and principles, you are by now ready to put yourselves at the forefront of the future. After all, this is the tradition and the legacy of UIC graduates. And I hope you will start doing this at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay, maybe 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. On behalf of the University of Illinois at Chicago, I promise you that we will always be your university and we will continue to support you. Like you, we will continue to grow in strength and reputation, enhancing in the process the value of your degrees. We will make you proud, as you have made all of us proud tonight. After all, the greatness of a university is in big part the sum of its alumni, and you are now becoming part of this equation. And please remember, share your future accomplishments with us and return to visit, and more importantly, to mentor the students who will follow in your own footsteps. Go out and tell the world about your accomplishments, and go out and tell the world about your alma mater. You are now our greatest ambassadors. Congratulations, class of 2015, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Chancellor. I am pleased to welcome to our ceremony Vice Provost for Undergraduate Affairs, Nikos Viralis, LAS Distinguished Professor of Physics, who has been part of the UIC community for the past 20 years. Would you please stand to be acknowledged? Thank you, Dr. Viralis. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce one of the University of Illinois trustees, Ramon Cepeda, who was appointed by the governor in 2015. He currently serves as a senior vice president and managing director of the Northern Trust Company in Chicago, Illinois. Within his personal life, he is very active in his community, and he currently serves as a trustee of the National Museum of Mexican Art, a member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and many other civically engaged organizations. The College of Education is pleased that Trustee Cepeda has joined us this evening.
Thank you very much. And Chancellor Maurice, I have you beat. I don't have any Facebook. And I just got an Instagram with a whopping 11 followers. So I'm getting there. I'm a Generation X. Welcome. On behalf of the University of Illinois Board of Trustees, I congratulate you graduates of the class of 2017. I hope you are as proud and happy to be here today as I am, a proud alum of our noble and exemplary institution. Like you, I believe that education is the cornerstone, the keystone to all that follows: engaging work, stable family, and satisfying life. Your belief in the power of education has led you to where you are today. You have seen firsthand that power because virtually from the moment you began your program, you have engaged with students in the classroom. You have made many experiences that you will cherish for the rest of your life. You have seen students work hard. You have seen them blossom with your help and support. You have witnessed the transformative power of hard work, diligence, and compassionate guidance. And isn't that ultimately what teaching is all about? You too have experienced transformation. It was your dream to continue your education, and you have done so. Congratulations. I think Nelson Mandela really sums up education well, in my view. Education, he said, is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Today, you can begin to change the world. You also join the community of Illinois alumni. Many of our alumni, which our numbers are close to 700,000, are here to make the world a better place, and I'm very proud of that, just as I am happy to do my part as a member of the Board of Trustees. Those of us in the position to help the university will continue to work tirelessly to make education available to all in our beloved state of Illinois. No matter how many changes we have experienced and no matter what the future brings, the University of Illinois remains an essential and absolutely essential to the health of our state and all its citizens. The university will forever be the state's crown jewel, the powerful engine, powerful engine of innovation and excellence that benefits both our citizens and our economy. This is a good place to mention that, in fact, that this year we marked the 150th anniversary of the University of Illinois system. Consider that, how amazing that the university can thrive for 150 years. Not many universities can say that. The university has been a hive of activity, a hub of learning, and a home for those wanting to improve the lives for a century and a half. But let's turn to today. From here, your paths will diverge. Some of you will stay close to home, others will travel far and wide. But no matter where your journey takes you, you'll always carry the peace of the University of Illinois in your heart. May you share the pride that I have in our university. May you spread our tradition of Illinois excellence wherever that journey might take you. And a heartfelt congratulations to you and yours from the board of the trustees at the University of Illinois. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Trustee Cepeda. I am now privileged to introduce to you this year's commencement speaker and winner of the first Dean's Humanitarian Impact Award, Dr. Gloria J. Latsing-Billings, one of the nation's most timely and thoughtful scholars. Latsing-Billings is the Kellner Family Distinguished Professor in Urban Education in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction and is a faculty affiliate in the Departments of Educational Policy Studies, Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis, and Afro-American Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The author of the critically acclaimed books, The Dream Keepers, Successful Teachers of African American Children, Crossing Over to Canaan, The Journey of New Teachers in Diverse Classrooms, and Beyond the Big House, African American Educators on Teacher Education. In addition, she is editor of 6 other books and author of more than 100 journal articles and book chapters. Some of her most recent accomplishments include a recipient of the 2016 Lifetime Achievement Award from the Benjamin Banneker Association of the National Council for Teachers of Mathematics. She is also the winner of the Social Justice in Education Award given by the American Educational Research Association. In 2014, Dr. Lansing Billings served as a panelist on the White House African American Educational Excellence Initiative's Essence Festival, Smart Starts at Home panel. Within her personal life, she also finds time to give back to her community by serving as a member of the Vision Council of the United Way of Dane County and a member of the Board of Directors for the Madison Children's Museum. Dr. Lansing Billings is also an ordained deacon in her church, and she is a 49-year member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Please give a round of applause for our most prestigious commencement speaker.
That's 50 years, Dean Tatum, but who's counting? Congratulations to these graduates and to your families. I'm going to start my remarks actually as a kind of tribute to my first wave hip-hop arts students at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. They always tease me when I go somewhere. They say, "Doc, did you spit a poem?" And so if I don't do it, then they razz me. So if you run into them, you can tell them, at least she tried. And the name of this piece, which I have written, is entitled, "And Yet You Chose Education." The arena is filled with smiling faces, happy grads, proud dads, boasting faculty, ever-faithful moms, relatives and kin from all corners, set to celebrate accomplished sons and daughters who have worked hard and scratching their heads to determine whether or not all this debt will be worth it. It will not. Because every word of admonition, every warning of advice told you not to do this, and yet you chose education. You could have been an engineer, a computer coder, perhaps a doctor, a lawyer, a biologist, geologist, or astronomer. Your family could rest easy about your future, for we fill with promise and handsome compensation. You might imagine some measure of prestige and a European vacation. You could attend cocktail parties and receptions with your head held high and proudly declare to all assembled that I am a professional with a profession that you respect, and yet you chose education. When you open your mouth to say, "I am a teacher or a principal, a school counselor, psychologist, or education professor," the room will grow eerily silent, suggesting you uttered something lesser. For surely you know that education is for those who cannot do anything else. It is for those who cannot do. It is for those who think less of themselves. It is for those who certainly aren't very bright. It is for those who are not strong enough to fight, who know little about power and might, and yet you chose education. You will work a job that others claim is easy, one with 2, maybe 3 months of vacation and short work days. You will not have the heart to correct them and say, "Every summer I am laid off without compensation. I'm out of work, not on vacation." Short work days, you say? Those that begin at the crack of dawn and linger long into the night? Your conception of my job is anything but right, and yet you chose education. Yes, you chose education, but not for money, prestige, power, or status. You chose it because it touches each and every one, and it truly is what matters. It is the difference in the lives of the poor, the immigrant, the disabled, and those who are black, brown, red, yellow, and yes, white. It is what each will carry with them into that long night. It is what will turn individuals into citizens with the yearning for freedom. It will prepare them for the awesome responsibility of preserving democracy. They may never thank you or appreciate what is a powerful sacrifice, but it's one thing in this world that gives you life. Yes, you chose education, no matter what others said. Yes, you chose education with your heart and with your head. Yes, you chose education because you are smart. Yes, you chose education with your head and your heart. Yes, you chose education, and I say thank you. So if you run into my students, say, yeah, she did it, she spit that poem. You know, all 64 bars of it, she did it. Okay. I'm grateful for the invitation to address you, the graduates of the University of Illinois Chicago, and I'm ever mindful that no one actually comes to a graduation to hear the commencement speaker, unless it's the president, a CEO of some major company, or a celebrity. No, I'm fully cognizant that the people in this audience are here to celebrate that some of these folks will actually begin to work for a living and will possibly move out of your homes. Still, others are happy to be here because they can actually have a date night with a partner rather than talk to the back of a head that has been sitting at a computer for 6 straight hours. But despite your lack of interest in what I have to say, I am still going to take a few minutes to say something. Last spring, I had the opportunity to address 121 high school seniors all heading to college, their parents, and some of their teachers, administrators, and tutors as a part of our school district's Avid TOPS program. And in my comments to the teens, I decided to appropriate some of their language to encourage them as they embark upon their college careers. For you see, if you pay any attention to adolescent language, then you are well aware that our youth are very creative with it. They make up their own vocabulary, and those words may not make any sense to adults, but they form a lexicon and world of their own, and that world makes sense to them. Some of the words and phrases in their linguistic repertoire are on fleek, turn up, low-key, squad, fam. And one of my favorite youth cultural expressions is stay woke. It grew out of the Black Lives Matter movement, and it speaks to the need to be vigilant and informed, especially concerning social and political issues. Stay woke is exactly the message I have for you as graduates from an outstanding public college of education. You are entering the field at a moment where much of what we thought we knew about education, public education, and the preparation of education professionals are being radically reconstructed. So there are 3 things I believe you as education professionals need to stay woke about. The first is the destruction of public education. Because of where we are in time and history, we have come to believe that public schools will always be there. Those of you who studied the history of education know that we did not always have a public system. Indeed, as late as the 1960s, African Americans did not enjoy universal secondary education in this country. Today, we are seeing a host of other forms of education that look a lot different from what we knew as public schools. We now have virtual schools where students do not leave their own homes to earn a diploma. Of course, we have home schools where parents take responsibility for providing education for their own children. And in a few states, we have private school vouchers that allow parents to take funds from the public coffers to use in private schools. However, on a grander scale, we have the rapid expansion of charter schools, not merely as incubators for public school innovation, but as direct competition to neighborhood public schools. The most extreme example of this is what has transpired in New Orleans, where we have the nation's first district comprised solely of charter schools. Despite limited academic improvement, New Orleans is being heralded as a success, and this model is about to be replicated in Atlanta. This rapid change from public education for the public good to public education for private advancement is indeed a reason for you to stay woke. Another reason for you to stay woke is the challenge to teacher education. Now, I realize that not all of you are directly involved in teaching and teacher education, but I will contend that anyone with an interest in education, history, psychology, philosophy, measurement, policy, leadership, curriculum, and so forth, each of them has a stake in this effort to move teacher education out of the academy and into for-profit, loosely regulated, fast-track attempts to prepare teachers. We know that professions achieve greater status and prestige with more academic credentials. Consider the rapid professionalization of the nation's nurses. Nursing began as a career undertaken primarily by religious women of the church, nuns and deaconess. Professional nursing in the U.S. developed in the late 19th century when women being called by hospitals to learn to care for the sick. Originally, nursing training was strictly clinical. However, over time, it became clear that nurses needed additional academic training to accompany their clinical skills. The demand for hospital-trained nurses was slowly supplanted by community or technical college training, and later university-based four-year degrees. Increasingly, the best nursing staffs include nurses who have earned a master's degree. This pattern is the exact opposite of the one we seem to be pursuing in teaching and teacher education. If the anti-teacher education forces are successful in unmooring teacher education from the academy, they may next argue that education as a field has no place in the university. Quite frankly, I could make a stronger case for removing the business school from the university. Indeed, some of the nation's best business people never went to business school. But we must remain vigilant about the role and need for teacher education in the academy. Indeed, we must stay woke concerning teacher education. And finally, the thing that I need you as new graduates to stay woke about is the degree to which we are losing the public debate. And you may ask, what debate? But I want to suggest that the debate is over the very notion of the concept of the public and what it means to be part of the public. I have argued for more years than I want to remember that the word public has morphed from a positive to a pejorative. Now, I am perhaps dating myself, but I do remember a time when the best way to travel my city was to take public transportation. It was safe, inexpensive, dependable, and reliable. I received my polio vaccine at a public health clinic because it was safe, inexpensive, dependable, and reliable. And my relatives who were struggling to find decent living conditions applied for public housing. It was safe, inexpensive, dependable, and reliable. And most people in my neighborhood who wanted their children to get ahead and improve their life chances sent those children to public schools because they were safe, inexpensive, dependable, and reliable. Today, all of the assurances guaranteed by the term public, at least for the society's most vulnerable, have fallen away. Thus, those who are fighting for public education are losing the support of the very public that we need to rally and galvanize. Instead of a public, we are increasingly seeing the creation of smaller, more balkanized individual interests claiming to represent the public interest. And I will tell you that I cannot in good conscience tell a poor mother in Milwaukee to turn down a voucher to the local parochial school in favor of the neighborhood public school that can be considered nothing more than a failure factory. Our failure to take care of our public schools is forcing us to lose our public. We must stay woke about the degree to which we maintain authentic relationships with the public. So I've urged you to stay woke about the rapid privatization of public education, the removal of teacher education from the academy, and the loss of public engagement and confidence. On this commencement day, this message may sound less than encouraging, but I want to contend that there is something more than the negative that we can see. There is the investment we must make in the kinds of educators we seek to become. And for this word of encouragement, I turn to the words of the late David Foster Wallace from his classic talk, "This is Water." And I quote, "There is no such thing as not worshiping. Everybody worships. The only choice we get is what to worship. And the compelling reason for maybe choosing some sort of God or spiritual type thing to worship, be it Jesus or Allah, be it Yahweh or the Wiccan Mother Goddess or the Four Noble Truths or some inviolable set of ethical principles, is that pretty much anything else you worship will eat you alive. If you worship money and things, if they are where you tap real meaning in your life, you will never have enough, never feel you have enough. It's the truth. Worship your body and beauty and sexual allure, and you will always feel ugly. And when time and age start showing, you will die a million deaths before they finally plant you. On one level, we all know this stuff already. It's been codified as myths and proverbs, cliches, epigrams, parables, the skeleton of every great story. The whole trick is keeping the truth up front in daily consciousness. Worship power, you will end up feeling weak and afraid, and you will need ever more power over others to numb you to your own fear. Worship your intellect, being seen as smart, and you will end up feeling stupid, a fraud, always on the verge of being found out. But the insidious thing about these forms of worship is not that they're evil or sinful, it's that they're unconscious. They are default settings. They're the kind of worship you just gradually slip into day after day, getting more and more selective about what you see and how you measure value without ever being fully aware that that's what you're doing. And the so-called real world will not discourage you from operating on your default settings, because the so-called real world of men and money and power hums merrily along in a pool of fear and anger and frustration and craving and the worship of self. Our own present culture has harnessed these forces in ways that have yielded extraordinary wealth and comfort and personal freedom. The freedom that we all have to be lords of our own tiny skull-sized kingdoms, alone at the center of all creation. This kind of freedom has much to recommend it. But of course, there are all different kinds of freedom, and the kind that is most precious, you will not hear talked about much in the great outside world of wanting and achieving and displaying. The real important kind of freedom involves attention and awareness and discipline, and being able to truly care about other people and to sacrifice for them over and over in myriad, petty, unsexy ways every day. That is real freedom. That is being educated and understanding how to think. The alternative is unconsciousness, the default setting, the rat race, the constant gnawing sense of having had and lost some infinite thing. So let me close by saying, by choosing to be educators, you have taken the important step to operate beyond that default setting. You have made a public declaration that you intend to stay woke. Thank you.
Powerful. Thank you, Dr. Lansing-Billings, for your inspiring words. Next, I am pleased to bring your attention to those seniors who have demonstrated exceptional academic achievement, receiving honors from the university and the College of Education. With those who are members of the Honors College, designated by the gold stoles you are wearing, those who are receiving university honors as indicated by your gold, silver, and bronze honor cords, and those who are receiving college honors who are wearing medallions, please stand to be recognized. It is indeed an honor and pleasure to recognize and honor these outstanding students. Through your endeavors, you have enriched the entire academic community. You bring credit to yourselves, to your families, and to the College of Education at the University of Illinois at Chicago. We are proud of you and congratulate you for the distinctions you have earned. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to recognize this year's 2017 Alumni Gala honorees. Will the honorees please stand as I call your name? Dr. Ernesto Matias. Earned his EDD in 2015 from the Department of Educational Policy Studies. Dr. Cheryl Watkins. Dr. Cheryl Watkins earned her PhD in 2015 from the Department of Special Education and a master's degree in 1992. And Dr. Ken Fujimoto, PhD in 2014 from the Department of Educational Psychology. I want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please be seated. I would now like to bestow the Dean's Merit Award. Each year, the College of Education recognizes and honors outstanding graduating students who have demonstrated academic excellence, who possess exemplary qualities, and who will serve as role models and ambassadors for the College of Education and UIC. The 2017 Dean's Merit Awardee for the outstanding doctoral candidate is Lydia Saravia. While working on her PhD, Lydia, just like other doctoral students, overcame some challenges. Yet she remained steadfast with her mission to succeed. As a first-generation college graduate, Lydia experienced some personal obstacles, but her ability to keep her eyes on the prize and move forth to the end is something to brag about. Lydia is a committed educator and one who has promised to make our world a better place. You will hear within Lydia's comments her passion for the Guatemalan educational system, where she began her formal education training. Lydia, congratulations on your accomplishments. Please come forward to say a few words.
Hikamachi ule. Y'all hear me? Because I'm kind of short. Kalte, fellow graduates, professors, and loved ones, I stand before you, the proud daughter of Guatemalan immigrant parents. The road to this PhD has not been easy, and I could not have done it without my people. I couldn't have done it without the help of my chair and mentor, Dr. Silali Morales, who patiently helped me through all the obstacles of this journey. She, along with other professors in the College of Ed, have been instrumental in my graduating tonight. As a first-generation college graduate and first-generation graduate student, I had a lot of questions regarding paperwork, deadlines, financial assistance, and so let me say that many of us graduating with a PhD in curriculum studies could not have done it without the guidance of Elise Wilson, Sharon Etherly, and Karen Dopp. I also need to acknowledge the community in Guatemala that opened their school and classroom doors so that I can learn from them. I am grateful to them. Of course, estoy aquí hoy porque tengo una familia que me ha apoyado en todas las etapas de este doctorado. I also want to thank and acknowledge my former students, who a few are graduating today. I lost my place. Class of 2017, it's been an interesting political year, to put it nicely. But in the past few years, my students have taught me how not to fall into anger or despair. It was students who taught me about being undocumented but unafraid. It was students who taught me about the Black Lives Matter movement. What a privilege it has been to teach at UIC and to see young people work toward a better future, to see young people say, nope, not today. Even as I traveled through Guatemala to conduct research for my dissertation, I witnessed young people fight for water and land and fight for teachers and the profession. Politicians will continue to make laws and policies that will disinvest in our youth, especially those in our Black, brown, and poor communities. But if the last few years have taught me anything, is that I know you will fight for your students, and you as educators will not disinvest in them or their communities. Your generation is witness to the strongest mantra I have witnessed in my lifetime. Take it and remember it as you work with and alongside young people. Remember that Black lives do matter, that love is love, that trans and women's rights are human rights. And finally, immigrants, whether documented or not, make our city, our state, and our country a stronger place to live in. My hope is that you let young people show you their strength. May you always learn from the young people you'll have the privilege to work with, whether in a classroom, in a center, or any encounter. Give them room to teach you and be there for them when it matters. Class of 2017, we have work to do, but you've shown us that you've got this. In the struggle together, we got this. To quote from my favorite movie, Bound by Honor, a toda madre o un desmadre. Congratulations, class of 2017. It's an honor to stand here with you. Much respect, Chonte.
The degree of Doctor of Philosophy is the highest degree bestowed by the College of Education in recognition of a rigorous academic program culminating in the writing of a dissertation. Each of these scholars has invested several years of careful preparation under the guidance of faculty to produce an original piece of research that makes a contribution to the body of knowledge in education. Each of these scholars will now go on to be leaders in education as professors, administrators, and researchers. In recognition of the candidates' scholarly accomplishments, they will be hooded on stage by their faculty advisors. I would like to welcome UIC Provost Susan Poser, who will confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I would also like to introduce Dean of the Graduate College, Karen Colley, who will present the candidates.
Provost Poser, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the candidates please rise?
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Doctor of Philosophy degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations.
Please be seated. The degree of Doctor of Education was one of the first doctorates of professional practice established at UIC and represents the highest professional degree available to educational practitioners. Each of these school leaders has invested several years in rigorous, closely supervised clinical practice, as well as demanding coursework with faculty in the College of Education. Each of them has written a culminating case study of a school that has built new capacity to improve student learning. Together, these leaders will go on to achieve significant improvements in schools, districts, and the future of school leader preparation. In recognition of these school leaders' accomplishments, they will be hooded on stage by their faculty advisors. Dean Karen Colley will again present the candidates, and UIC Provost Poser will confer the degree of Doctor of Education.
Provost Poser, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Education. Will the candidates please rise?
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Doctor of Education degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations.
I would like to introduce Daniel Morales Doyle, Assistant Professor of Science Education, who will preside over the hooding ceremony.
Will the new Doctors of Philosophy and Doctors of Education please come to the stage to be hooded by their faculty advisors and to be recognized by the Provost and the Dean of Education. Lydia Saravia. Dr. Saravia has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor P. Citlali Morales. Her dissertation is entitled Soy Indígena, The Promise and Struggles of an Escuela Normal Bilingüe Intercultural in Guatemala. Dr. Saravia is hooded by Professor Morales. Brenna Savannah Barlow. Dr. Barlow has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor David Shafsma. Her dissertation is entitled The Power of Listening, How Poetry Fosters Democracy in the Classroom. Dr. Barlow is hooded by Professor Shafsma. Kenneth Damon Brown. Dr. Brown has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor Alfred Tatum. His dissertation is entitled Promoting Positive Social Development Among African American Boys. Dr. Brown is hooded by Professor Tatum. Lisa Delacqua, PhD. Dr. Delacqua has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor David Stovall. Her dissertation is entitled Austin High School, Telling Her Story. Dr. Delacqua is hooded by Professor Stovall. Besa Aksu Dunya, PhD. Dr. Dunya has earned a PhD in Educational Psychology under the direction of Professor Everett Smith. Her dissertation is entitled Item Parameter Drift and Computer Adaptive Testing Due to Lack of Content Knowledge Within Subpopulations. Dr. Dunya is hooded by Professor Smith. Raymond Fierro, Jr., PhD. Dr. Fierro has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professors Carol Michener and Selena Sima. His dissertation is entitled Professional Development Curriculum as a Shaping Force for Police Training. Dr. Fierro is hooded by Professors Michener and Sima. Sarah Millett Freelink, PhD. Dr. Freelink has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor Danny Martin. Her dissertation is entitled In Darkened Feminist Epistemology, a Case Study in Higher Education. Dr. Freelink is hooded by Professor Martin. Dina Soffer Goldstein, PhD. Dr. Goldstein has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor Danny Martin. Her dissertation is entitled The Co-Construction of Mathematics Identities Among Deaf and Hard of Hearing Middle Grade Students. Dr. Goldstein is hooded by Professor Martin. Rachel Harper, PhD. Dr. Harper has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor William Schubert. Her dissertation is entitled On Reverie, 16 Studies in Chicago-Based Education Through Durational Curriculum Inquiry. Dr. Harper is hooded by Professor Stovall. Paul Hartman, PhD. Dr. Hartman has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor P. Citlali Morales. His dissertation is entitled, Is It a She or a He? Using Literacy to Explore Gender Heteronormativity with Second Graders. Dr. Hartman is hooded by Professor Morales. Emily Brown Hoffman, PhD. Dr. Hoffman has earned a PhD in Literacy, Language, and Culture under the direction of Professor William Teal. Her dissertation is entitled Digital Discourses in Early Childhood Educator Online Learning. Dr. Hoffman is hooded by Professor Teal. Megan Elizabeth Hughes, PhD. Dr. Hughes has earned a PhD in Literacy, Language, and Culture under the direction of Professor Taffy Raphael. Her dissertation is entitled Health Literacy and Type 2 Diabetes, a Case Study in Complexity. Dr. Hughes is hooded by Professor Raphael. William Kennedy, PhD. Dr. Kennedy has earned a PhD in Curriculum Studies under the direction of Professor Rebecca Woodard. His dissertation is entitled Nurturing Critical Dialogic Partnerships, a Praxis for Teacher Induction Within Urban School Communities. Dr. Kennedy is hooded by Professor Woodard. Sakina Khan, PhD. Dr. Khan has earned a PhD in Literacy, Language, and Culture under the direction of Professor Alfred Tatum. Her dissertation is entitled Writing Experiences and Expectations of African American Students, 2-year college composition course. Dr. Khan is hooded by Professor Tatum. Lisa J. Lin, PhD. Dr. Lin has earned a PhD in Educational Psychology under the direction of Professor Kimberly Lawless. Her dissertation is entitled Looking Beyond Observations, Observed Scores versus Roche Measures for the Analysis of Efficacy Data. Dr. Lin is hooded by Professor Lawless. India N.K. Murray, PhD. Dr. Murray has earned a PhD in Policy Studies in Urban Education under the direction of Professor David Stovall. Her dissertation is entitled The Right to Return, Returning Public Housing Families and Their Decision-Making Processes on Schooling. Dr. Murray is hooded by Professor Stovall. Laura Ramirez, PhD. Dr. Ramirez has earned a PhD in Policy Studies in Urban Education under the direction of Professor David Stovall. Her dissertation is entitled Centering Motherhood, Latinas Engaging in Collective Acts of Resistance for Education Justice. Dr. Ramirez is hooded by Professor Stovall. Jamie Madison Vasquez, PhD. Dr. Vasquez has earned a PhD in Literacy, Language, and Culture under the direction of Professor Taffy Raphael. Her dissertation is entitled Teachers' Collaborative Inquiry About Teacher-Family Communication, a Design Experiment. Dr. Vasquez is hooded by Professor Raphael. Melanie M. Walski, PhD. Dr. Walski has earned a PhD in Literacy, Language, and Culture under the direction of Professor Taffy Raphael. Her dissertation is entitled, It's More About the Program, Teacher Sense-Making of Literacy Instructional Practice. Dr. Walski is hooded by Professor Raphael. Colleen E. Whittingham, PhD. Dr. Whittingham has earned a PhD in Literacy, Language, and Culture under the direction of Professor William Teal. Her dissertation is entitled, Places and Spaces of Literacy Interaction, Preschool Practices Providing Equitable Opportunities to Learn. Dr. Whittingham is hooded by Professor Teal. Angelina Williams, PhD. Dr. Williams has earned a PhD in Policy Studies in Urban Education under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her dissertation is entitled Emotional and Social Competencies of a Principal School Leader. Dr. Williams is hooded by Professor Tozer. Nia Abdullah, EDD. Dr. Abdullah has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Cynthia Barron. Her dissertation is entitled, An Analysis of the Transformation of a High-Needs Neighborhood High School. Dr. Abdullah is hooded by Professor Barron. Monique Oxila, EDD. Dr. Oxila has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Nancy Carter-Hill. Her dissertation is entitled, What Just Happened? Building School Climate Through Social Emotional Learning. Dr. Oxila is hooded by Professor Carter-Hill. Olympia Baena, EDD. Dr. Baena has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her dissertation is entitled, Walking the Talk, Lessons from Deprivatizing Instruction. Dr. Baena is hooded by Professor Tozer. Kelly Corley, EDD. Dr. Corley has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Nancy Carter-Hill. Her dissertation is entitled, What Just Happened? Uncovering and Rebuilding Instructional Capacity. Dr. Corley is hooded by Professor Carter-Hill. M. Ari Freed, EDD. Dr. Freed has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Shelby Cosner. His dissertation is entitled, Charter School Authorization and District Alignment, the Founding of the Orange School. Dr. Freed is hooded by Professor Cosner. Josephine Gomez, EDD. Dr. Gomez has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor David Marowitz. Her dissertation is entitled, Jumping the ACT Wall of 16 by Upward Influence, Buffering, Transformational and Instructional Leadership. Dr. Gomez is hooded by Professor Marowitz. Matthew Heller, EDD. Dr. Heller has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Cynthia Barron. His dissertation is entitled, Impact of Teacher Collaboration and Teacher Learning on School Culture and Student Learning. Dr. Heller is hooded by Professor Barron. Guillermo Heredia, EDD. Dr. Heredia has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. His dissertation is entitled, Building a High-Functioning Leadership Team. Dr. Heredia is hooded by Professor Tozer. Andalib Kelgadi, EDD. Dr. Kelgadi has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Nancy Carter-Hill. His dissertation is entitled, Leading Learning, a Principal Shift to Support Professional Learning for Improved Instruction. Dr. Kelgadi is hooded by Professor Carter-Hill. Makita Keperu, EDD. Dr. Keperu has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Nancy Carter-Hill. Her dissertation is entitled, Building Educational Team Capacity, a Study of Ujima, Collective Work and Responsibility. Dr. Keperu is hooded by Professor Carter-Hill. Gail King, EDD. Dr. King has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Nancy Carter-Hill. Her dissertation is entitled, Building Trust as a Foundation for Change. Dr. King is hooded by Professor Carter-Hill. Daniel M. Kramer, EDD. Dr. Kramer has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Cynthia Barron. His dissertation is entitled, The Challenges of Cultivating a Culture of Teacher Collaboration at Scale. Dr. Kramer is hooded by Professor Barron. Vicki Lee, EDD. Dr. Lee has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Nancy Carter-Hill. Her dissertation is entitled, Teacher Leadership as a Catalyst for Organization Change. Dr. Lee is hooded by Professor Carter-Hill. Laura Lamone, EDD. Dr. Lamone has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Cynthia Barron. Her dissertation is entitled, School Improvement Through the Development of Teams, Trust, and Organization to Improve Learning. Dr. Lamone is hooded by Professor Barron. Catherine Magnuson, EDD. Dr. Magnuson has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her dissertation is entitled Understanding Differentiated Literacy Instruction, A School Leader's Lens. Dr. Magnuson is hooded by Professor Tozer. Stephen McLean, EDD. Dr. McLean has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Nancy Carter-Hill. His dissertation is entitled The Game Changer, Strengthening Organizational Capacity and Program Coherence to Improve Student Outcomes. Dr. McLean is hooded by Professor Carter-Hill. Jacqueline J. Minoni, EDD. Dr. Minoni has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Cynthia Barron. Her dissertation is entitled Levers for Success, Teacher Teams in Elementary School Academic Improvement. Dr. Minoni is hooded by Professor Barron. Nathan Pietrini, EDD. Dr. Pietrini has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. His dissertation is entitled Leveraging Distributive Leadership Among Cycles of Inquiry for Improving Organizational Capacity. Dr. Pietrini is hooded by Professor Tozer. Regina Roberts, EDD. Dr. Roberts has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Nancy Carter-Hill. Her dissertation is entitled Fostering Trust and Solidarity Through Collaborative Teams and Distributed Leadership. Dr. Roberts is hooded by Professor Carter-Hill. Eric Steinmiller, EDD. Dr. Steinmiller has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Cynthia Barron. His dissertation is entitled Leadership and Collaborative Organizational Structures, Unifying a Divided School. Dr. Steinmiller is hooded by Professor Barron. Angel L. Turner, EDD. Dr. Turner has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Selena Saima. Her dissertation is entitled Building Organizational Capacity to Support School Improvement. Dr. Turner is hooded by Professor Saima. Joshua D. Vanderjag, EDD. Dr. Vanderjagt has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Cynthia Barron. His dissertation is entitled Leading While Learning, Balancing Organizational Learning, Stakeholder Expectations, and Leader Growth. Dr. Vanderjagt is hooded by Professor Barron. Congratulations to all the new Doctors of Philosophy and Doctors of Education. Please give a round of applause to these graduates who have devoted so many years to be here today.
Now it gives me great pleasure to bestow the Dean's Merit Award on the outstanding master's degree candidate who has demonstrated academic excellence, possesses exemplary qualities, and will serve as a role model and ambassador for the College of Education and UIC. The 2017 Dean's Merit Awardee for Outstanding MED is Cynthia Ibarra. Ms. Ibarra has a noteworthy commitment to her community and her family's home of Mexico, where her morals and values were instilled at an early age. Cynthia's work in youth development and the onset of social change has led her down the path to concentrate on race, class, and gender inequities. Congratulations on your accomplishment, Cynthia. Please come forward to say a few words.
Good evening, fellow graduates. Welcome, family and friends. To my loving parents and my beautiful partner, gracias por tu sacrificio. My parents grew up in Mexico, and they taught me that no matter their circumstances, children and youth are to be shown love and care. Both my father and my partner were child laborers, and they taught me that children's rights and healthy youth development are not always afforded to the poor, and many have to give up parts of their own childhood to survive. When I worked in the streets of Guadalajara, Mexico, with child laborers, they told me the same things that street-based youth that I worked with in Chicago told me. Teachers had run them out of schools. Adults had exploited them for gain. Providers had ignored them. And administrators and officials made it a priority to do away with them at all costs. And youth activists further taught me that the good work cannot happen without supporting youth struggles for self-determination and social justice. Because unfortunately, in the city of Chicago, too many have been left to fail and not make it out alive. Race, class, gender inequities, and oppressions of all kinds impede the learning, well-being, and healthy development of the children and youth we aim to teach, nurture, and care for. But when we are all accountable to all the children and youth, we can do more for social change than any law or policy could ever do. Together with the youth development graduates, an entire graduating class of 2017, I am honored to hold our commitment to doing the good work, building the power and building on the potential and the power of all children and youth, so together we can bring about social change. As challenging as it is, we must remain committed and all be held accountable to making sure all children and youth thrive. Thank you very much.
The degree of Master of Education will be bestowed on those candidates who have sought to further their knowledge in the field of education. Many have come from other disciplines to become certified as teachers. Others will explore youth development work, policy making, administration, and other endeavors in education. I would now like to call upon the Provost to confer the degree of Master of Education and Associate Dean of the Graduate College, Karen Colley, who will present the candidates.
Provost Poser, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Master of Education. Will the candidates please rise?
Upon these recommendations, and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Master of Education degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. Congratulations.
I would now like to introduce Assistant Professor Daniel Morales Doyle and Clinical Assistant Professor Arthi Rao, who will announce the candidates for the Master of Education degree.
Thank you, Dean Colley. Will the new Masters of Education please come to the stage to be recognized by the Provost and the Dean of the College of Education? Cynthia M. Ibarra, MED in Youth Development. Brian Lampert, MED Science Education. Aisha Kazi, MED Science Education. Vishal R. Patel, MED Instructional Leadership Science Education. Darius Horwat, MED Science Education. Julie Bolamperti, MED Instructional Leadership Science Education. Mary Segretti, MED Instructional Leadership Science Education. Daisy Emeterio, MED Science Education. Fationa Chelepia, MED Science Education. Jamin Patel, MED Science Education. Michael Lucky, MED Science Education. David Junsu Kim, MED Science Education. Lynette Gaydon Thomas, MED Science Education. Jamie Lujan, MED Science Education. Saida Rasa, MED Science Education. Carmen Vega Fejcik, MED Science Education. Jennifer Neda Alafnan, MED Science Education. Ashley Hayes, MED Science Education. Evelyn Villagomez, MED Science Education. Carolina Salinas, MED Science Education.
Nabila Khan, MED Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Berta Castaneda, MED Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Jasmine Patron Vargas, MED Instructional Leadership, Policy Studies. Mahogany Q. Williams, MED Instructional Leadership, Policy Studies. Darrell Jamerson Barnes, MED Instructional Leadership, Policy Studies. Ying Chen, MED Language Literacies and Learning. Alexa Harris, MED Instructional Leadership, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Alyssa Fullerton, MED Language Literacies and Learning. Alexandra Yonias, MED Instructional Leadership, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Caitlin Blacksmith, MED Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Charles Danoff, MED Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Mariela Patino, MED Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Frank Battle Ray, MED Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Lucas Willems, MED Instructional Leadership, Policy Studies. Amy C., MED Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Julia Yalmaz, MED Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Natnari Kulsabri, MED Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Kelsey Groot, MED Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Carissa Cardenas, MED Early Childhood Education. Naomi Malutan, MED Instructional Leadership, Early Childhood Education. Cindy Herrera, MED Instructional Leadership, Early Childhood Education. Luz Torres, MED, Early Childhood Education. Deja Spikes, MED, Early Childhood Education. Christine Gibson, MED, Early Childhood Education. Yuju Wang, MED, Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Ruki Wang, MED, Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Samantha Roselle, MED, Special Education. Rachel Echendia, MED, Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Leila Nasif, MED, Early Childhood Education. Estela Mira Bareda, MED, Early Childhood Education. Jessica Chin, MED, Early Childhood Education. Sandy Yoon, MED, Early Childhood Education. Chi-An Yu Wang, MED, Early Childhood Education. Eva Lee, MED, Early Childhood Education. Amy Berriger, MED, Early Childhood Education. Latoya Williamson, MED, Early Childhood Education. Katie Mihalski, MED, Early Childhood Education. Gabrielle Fige, MED, Early Childhood Education. Molly Rosenbach, MED, Early Childhood Education. Sharon Gandy, MED, Early Childhood Education. Michelle Burke, MED, Special Education. Allison Stevens, MED, Special Education. Melissa Fisk, MED, Special Education. Claudia Tinajero, MED, Special Education. Liliana Silva, MED, Special Education. Laura Cota, MED, Special Education. Kelly Valle, MED, Special Education. Chelsea Hustler, MED, Special Education. Mariah Donley, MED, Special Education. Michael Krantz Perlman, MED, Special Education. Hannah Lance, MED, Special Education. Caitlin Lannis, MED, Special Education. Nicholas Donahue, MED, Special Education. Jacqueline Sprinkle, MED, Special Education. Kaylee Fehrenbacher, MED, Special Education. Christian King, MED, Youth Development. Erica Bonilla Perez, MED, Youth Development. Kiera Bowens, MED, Youth Development. Jessica Vergara, MED, Youth Development. Cameron Mosberry, MED, Youth Development. Alexia Bacon, MED, Youth Development. Daniel Adams, MED, Youth Development. Scout Bratt, MED, Youth Development. Stephanie Beatrice Posey, MED, Youth Development. Richard Edward Danor, MED, Youth Development. Caroline Sabala, MED, Early Childhood Education. Karina Casas, MED, Early Childhood Education. Courtney Jackson, MED, Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Melanie Meyer, MED, Instructional Leadership, Educational Studies. Patricia Ray Easley, MED, Instructional Leadership, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Graduates, your families and guests, along with the faculty and staff of the College of Education, take great pride in your accomplishments and would like to salute you with a round of applause. Please let's acknowledge these new Masters of Education.
I heard someone say, get ready. It gives me great pleasure to bestow the Dean's Merit Award on the outstanding bachelor's degree candidate who has demonstrated academic excellence, possesses exemplary qualities, and will serve as a role model and ambassador for the College of Education and UIC. The 2017 Dean Merit Awardee for the outstanding BA candidate is Hafsa Siddiqui. Who has a strong academic background, and her commitment to students of color and the community at large makes her stand above the rest. Ms. Siddiqui's goal is to continue to fight for peace, justice, safety, and freedom for all people. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Please come forward to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. As students in the College of Education, each one of us sitting here has spent over 1,000 hours teaching, listening, and building relationships with students all over this great city. We didn't always live in their communities, and we may have only seen these students for a few hours a day. But each day we got a glimpse into their lives, their hopes and their fears, their dreams and worries. This past year, with our current administration, those worries have only escalated. For our students of color especially, the issues of institutionalized racism, xenophobia, and the targeting of marginalized communities are realities of everyday life. So, as educators, no matter where we end up this coming September, it is our duty to be agents of change. It is our duty to teach our students to resist, to be conscious thinkers and critical thinkers and conscious citizens that search for truth. It is our duty to provide each student the tools they need to speak up for themselves, their families, and their communities when they confront these issues. It is our duty to teach our way to the world we wish to see by nurturing a new generation of activists that will continue to fight for peace, justice, safety, and freedom for all people. And it won't be easy, but we'll have the shoulders of giants to stand on. The professors who pushed us way beyond our comfort zones, and our friends and family who have supported us along the way. None of us would be here today if it weren't for them. And lastly, a shout out to the class of 2017 who have taken this journey alongside with me. It has been an honor to work beside each and every one of you. It is my hope that we can all take on the role of teacher activists and continue to fight tirelessly for, as Malcolm X put it, truth no matter who tells it, and justice, no matter who it is for or against. Thank you.
The Bachelor of Arts degree in Urban Education is designed to prepare undergraduates to become teachers in urban elementary schools or educators in schools and communities in Chicago. Our graduates have engaged in intensive preparation in the final 2 years of their undergraduate programs and are leaving us well prepared to make a positive difference in the lives of children and youth. I would now like to call upon the provost to confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Urban Education. Provost Poser, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Will the candidates please rise?
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Bachelor of Arts degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. You may now move your tassel from the right side to the left. Congratulations.
I would now like to introduce Professor Vicki Trender, a faculty member in Curriculum and Instruction, who will announce the candidates for the Bachelor's of Art degree.
Thank you, Dean Tatum. Will the new Bachelors of Arts please come to the stage to be recognized by the Provost and the Dean of the College of Education? Hafsa Siddiqui. Summa cum laude with high college honors. Lina Abu Shalbak. Paola Alcantara. Christy Beck. Gabriela Barraza, cum laude with college honors. Madiha Baila, cum laude with college honors. Joanna Plashinska, magna cum laude with high college honors. Shahara Brinson. Megan Davis. Heidi de la Cruz. Jessie Flores. Kimberly Fugman, summa cum laude with high college honors. Elizabeth Gillespie. Amanda Grata, magna cum laude with high college honors. Suli Isais. Whitney Jean, cum laude with college honors. Brianna Johnson, cum laude with college honors. Linda Kim. Joanna Kopczynska. Rebecca Kosminski, magna cum laude with high college honors. Van An Lee. Fei Shen Li. Andrea Lehman. Rebecca Leonard, summa cum laude with high college honors. Yvette McCaskill, magna cum laude with high college honors. Jessica Mendez. Dionysia McCrulis. Reese Miles, cum laude with college honors. Bisan Mohammed, cum laude with college honors. Bing Ni, cum laude with college honors. Resilda Nune. Hallie Angchang, cum laude with college honors. Ashley Paramo. Nina Patel. Mariam Raja, summa cum laude with high college honors. Alma Ramos. Desiree Ranberg. Darine Rasco. Niana Rivera, cum laude with college honors. Medina Sabovic. Tina Skukin, cum laude with college honors. Erin Sivak. Luke Vanderkrabben, summa cum laude with high college honors. Veronica Walensky. Savannah Whittington, cum laude with college honors. It's my honor to introduce the coordinator of the BA in Human Development and Learning, Dr. Kathy Sheridan.
Nancy Abuerto, cum laude with college honors. Denise Almaraz Nava, cum laude with college honors. Jaisha Bingham. David Fisher, summa cum laude with high college honors. Viviana Gutierrez. Eugene Juan. Moyenolua Kelani. Nathalie Martinez. Zulima Martinez. Mieka Matthews. Robert Moses. Rachel Ambueco. Alejandra Prado, cum laude with college honors. Milagros Quintana. Fernando Romulo. Erica Scott. Karen Shea, summa cum laude with high college honors. Allison Stevens, cum laude, with college honors. Japneet Wahi. Justina Warland. Wafa Youssef. Graduates, your families and guests, along with the faculty and staff of the College of Education, take great pride in your accomplishment and would like to salute you with a round of applause. Please, let's acknowledge these new Bachelor of Arts.
Graduates, you are all now officially alumni of the College of Education at UIC. And we await your future achievements and watch with pride as you begin a new phase in your lives. I would now like to introduce the president of the University of Illinois Alumni Association, Cynthia Valenciano, who will say a few words of welcome.
Dear graduates, on behalf of the College of Education Alumni Association Board, I want to congratulate you on the confirmation of your degree and acknowledge the efforts it took to arrive at your goal. From this day forward, when someone asks you where you graduated from, you will always be able to proudly say that you graduated from UIC. As a proud graduate of the class of 1999, I welcome you to the Alumni Association and wish you well as you embark on the opportunities that this great institution has prepared you for. I invite you to stop by our alumni table located at the commencement reception to pick up a small token to commemorate the attainment of your goal. We encourage you to formally join the Alumni Association and to continue to support the efforts of the College of Education. I hope to see you at our table, and I wish you the best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Will the Bachelor of Art degrees in Human Development graduates please stand? And remain standing. The Bachelor of Art degree in Human Development and Learning is designed to prepare the next generation of educational leaders who will take charge in their communities to advance the humanity of children, youth, and adults. These graduates have engaged in intense experiences in communities, in schools, and in other organizations designed to enrich man's humanity to man. Provost Poser, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Art in Human Development and Learning.
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Bachelor of Arts of Human Development and Learning and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. You may now, once again, move your tassel from the right side to the left.
Thank you, Provost Poser. Please be seated. Dear graduates of UIC College of Education, the time has now come to bid you farewell. I hope the lessons you've learned and friendships you've made will sustain you as you move forward. I charge you to seek that which inspires and impresses you as you make inroads to do work that inspires and impresses. Never become imprisoned by smallness or paralyzed by fears, because at that moment, those who can benefit the most from your efforts may experience the suffocation of their humanity. What must be done to take humanity to the next level should be our guiding question. It is a question that is vast in ambition, but requires concrete steps, some small, some large, some fast, some slow, to achieve important victories. Although this may sound strange during commencement, I encourage you to lose your name in favor of our multi-textured humanity that has beautiful and menacing parts to give you more room to selflessly recognize the names of others. I am reminded of a recent event in which I gave some money to an adult male as I walked to the metro station. I offered a $20 bill without fully acknowledging the gentleman. As I was walking away, I did not hear the words thanks or God bless. I heard, "My name is Corey." This personal utterance touched me deeply because for that moment, he reclaimed himself through his personal yet warm introduction. It was a strange reminder to me that we should never allow someone's existence to hemorrhage in our presence if we are able to make an impact. Therefore, we chose education. Therefore, we chose UIC. My dear colleagues in the College of Education have helped prepare you for a tomorrow you do not know. And we are convinced that you will use some of our lessons, albeit incomplete, as a platform to become disciples of good in the same way we will use the lessons you have taught us. The College of Education at UIC is a bold place, but you must be bolder. It's a place of scientific and social consciousness. In its cloth of moral, social, and scientific innovation, our college strikes at injustices with a fervor that is rarely matched by other colleges of education. You have been forever stamped with this genetic gift of your alma mater. Do not shrink from this gift as you go forth to be extraordinary and to make an impact. We thank you for helping us be a college on the move. To the graduates and your families, please join the College of Education faculty and staff at the Commencement Reception and Student Services building across the street. Please give our graduates one more resounding round of applause.
Thank you.